All right, I'm gonna try this out real quick and do just a little back testing of the 1 minute flip here. We are at 27, so right before the open. Let's see how this plays out. Oh, oh man, we missed that. Well, let's just say we got in here with a target of the highs and a stop loss below here. And let's continue. Go! We got smacked in the face. Let's keep going. All right, all right. So we got wicked out. Nothing we can do. Let's wait for the next flip. God damn. All right. Okay, okay, okay. Sell. Stop loss above. Technically, it goes up here. That's a huge stop, but you are trading. I'm gonna go for a 1 to 2, basically. What am I? 545 to well, whatever that works. Let's see what happens. Boom. Geronimo. Oh, what time? All right. So, at what point do you trail? Right here, we're just having fun. We're back testing in real market conditions. Right. These things are moving down. We're gonna load this, pull back. Here's this growing. Right. At what point? I used to just do wick to wick. Right. Wick to wick. Now here we are down 300, and we are positive 835. So we technically have 535 in profit if you consider the loss we have. So I suppose we could do is leave it there. Oh no! Yeah, so that is not bad. 990. I would definitely do something like this because now I'm 620 in profit. Oh, we got taken out. So 620 in profit, not bad. And that was two flips, right? We had this one that took us out, wiped us out because it came way deeper than the previous candle. All right, let's see what happens to me. At this point, you're done, right? You're 100% done. However, let's see what happens if we continue. Right, and then technically around 10:30 is where I like that window where I just stop. All right, cool. We continue to push down, right? Not bad. I'm using a naked chart, by the way, just the flip. And oh, I like how they added this replay thing, dude. I don't know if that was, I don't know. I never saw it before, but I like it. I like it. All right. Anywho. All right. Nothing here. Choppity chop chop. So it's 10:05. Still not 10:30. Oh, is that an entry? Shit, I'm not sure because these candles are closing kind of weird. Let me try to put this to 1x. Did I miss the entry? Oh, yo, mama's a hoe. All right. So that would have stopped you out. Ignore my random comments. I'm just all right. Okay, yeah. So that technically would have stopped you out if you had just stopped your previous candle. Um, I hesitated on that one because I wasn't sure because of the replay only. So technically speaking, oh, here are my tools. I couldn't find them. Technically speaking, you entered here and you got taken out here for 40 ticks, which you're talking about $200, right? So this brings you down to 420, huh? Good number, huh? So let's see. And I say this because usually you use the previous candle wick if it's lower, right? But if it's higher, then you just use that one. So you're down $200, right? Let's see what happens here. Oh wait, sorry, that was a flip to the downside there. Ooh. Okay, all right. So we're down $40. Sorry, 40, $200 there. And if you took this flip to the downside, your stop loss is at 40, right? So that's another $200, right? Now, again, at this point, is it worth draining your account? No, you got taken out again, right? So now you would be down to 220, right? Is it worth it? No, absolutely not. It's not worth it. So first two trades are usually the best, and the same goes for the 4 minute, right? So this is a 1 minute, Right now, we can do this on the 4-minute as well. All right, so we finished this day with 620, even after taking this freaking stop right here. You just have to be patient. That's all you have to do, and then you go from there. All right, let's see. So if I go to the 4-minute, yeah, see the 4-minute was the same, very very similar. So let's close this out. Do you want exit? No, I'm just clicking exit for no reason. All right, let's go to this here. Whoa, something about the 4-minute chart is a little funky, right? Was this today? What was I on yesterday? Yeah, I was on yesterday. So anywho, if you replay it, I mean, let's replay it just for replay's sake. That's what we're doing here, right? So boom, we go here. All right, what time is it? 9:20. Get ready, guys. The market opens in 10 minutes. Don't do anything silly at this point. All right, let's see what happens. Come on, guys. What time is it now? Oh, 9:28. So we're almost there. All right. Oh, we got market open. We go long. Did we go long? See, I can't tell when this candle closes. Replay mode is ridiculous, dude. Holy bananas. We're up right from the start, right from the get-go. We have an ultimate target of this high right here, but we know that price keeps flying, but we don't know that. So if you were aiming for this, right, this is the caveat of, so there's a caveat to everything, but the catch-22 here is if you have your take profit set, which admittedly I don't do that often. I usually just leave it open, or as soon as I open my position, the first thing I do is set my stop. The second thing I do is just throw my take profit. I never really like set it because I like to monitor the trade as it goes, right? So in this case, we'll go next. Oh, that's not looking pretty, guys. So in this case, now we're back to 320. See, at this point, right, psychologically, this is maybe this will help. I consider this, right? So we had the flip. We had an entry, obviously. We had a second candle, right? And now we're back at 320. So at one point we were up already, right? Now we're back to that same area. Now I'm paying attention to what does price do here. Why? Because if on this push we don't get above this wick, I am detecting weakness. My BS sensor is going off, saying, hey, price, it doesn't look like you're going to do anything, but hey, guess what? Here we get a wick, right? Not because I memorized yesterday, but because I'm just looking at price action on this slow replay. Now, my thought process now is, okay, we have a wick higher, right? However, this wick also hit this body liquidity, right? So for me, I've found throughout time that there is liquidity sitting right here, right at the bodies, and also at the wicks, right? I don't draw this out. This is just all by memory, right? So that's how that works. Whether you believe it or not, right? It's up to you. This is all, I'm explaining to you how I do things. So now I'm thinking, okay, this candle wicked above doesn't mean that we are going to go above. But it did wick this, right? Wick the bodies. Now will we wick the wick or continue? I'm basically waiting to see if there's an impulse. If I sense that this closes below the wick, or I just sense overall weakness, I will not hesitate to do this right here and keep $50, right? Or even like break even, like 15. Sometimes I like to do this right here. Like if it's my first trade, I'll probably say, you know what, give me $15, give me $10 with getting wicked out. But at least I gave it a shot, right? Or again, you can just take your profit right there. Anyways, let's continue. All right, so this candle is closing or what? It's replay mode. Oh, yo mama. All right, so once this happens, what do I do? Immediately, I go like this, right? So it's about 75% or so of the candle. Forget about the number. I'm not looking at the number. I look at this, right? I look at the impulse and I say, you know what, dude? If this is going to do something like this and close, two things can happen. Price can open, do a tiny wick, pretend, and then freaking flush. It can do a little one, stay under the wick here and flush as well. Or if we're gonna get a strong continuation, we're gonna get max like a 0.25 retest, right? What does that mean? Where do I get that number from? If you're curious, I'm not gonna confuse you. I'm simply going to draw a Fibonacci. Hold on a second, just to not confuse anybody here. Okay. What do I mean by a 0.25? You see how I eyeballed it, right? And I actually had it up here originally. I eyeball this because I'm measuring in real time when price is flying like this. I'm like, okay, I gotta start chasing this sucker to maximize the amount of profit I get on this trade. Everyone does this different. You could, at this point, some people were like, oh, I'm gonna go to a break even. Look, hey, that's fine if you want to do that. But when I'm up through this kind of burst, forget about the money, right? I gotta change this back to ticks. When your trade is running, no matter what position size you're in, this looks exciting because this is 1 NQ. If you're doing 5 MNQ, you're at half. I don't care what the number is. I care about price action, right? Because, so, and my point to this is, right when I see this burst, I trail to about here, right? I mean, even like my eyes, even though I have it drawn here, right? This Fibonacci thing, by the way, all it does is you measure from the top of the candle to the bottom, right? And so this would be the first 0.25, the 0.5, 75, right? $1, right? This is basically one hole, right? The whole of this candle, this is the middle point. Make sense? I hope it does, because I can't hear you if you're answering. So, anywho, I immediately trailed to there. Why? Because I've seen that on average, if price will continue, you get something like this right here. Okay? So you see how that wick, right, is barely anything, right? It does a small retest and boom, it takes off. Why? Because there's a lot of bullish momentum. And what do I want? I want bullish momentum. So if you measure, let's say the candle closes here, because I can't tell with this like replay thing. And max, it should test here, maybe a little bit deeper, and then fly, but not take me out, right? So at this point, let's just see what happens. Okay. So on that candle, you did have a burst, right? In that burst, knowing who I am, because I'm already here, 750, let's just say we're already back here, but as this candle opened, it pulled back. Look how much it pulled back. And it continued, right? But you do have kind of like a fake out here in a way. We got to see what the rest of the candle does. But you see how it burst, and now we're pushing all the way back below that high, right? The wick high that was made. I'm going to take this 0.25 thing off, but I hope you got the point of this. So, and if not, rewind, it's there. So as this candle does this and starts pushing up, what am I doing? Aggressive Rick is trailing and trailing and trailing and trailing and trailing. You can do whatever you want. You can leave it there and wait. You can leave it all the way down here. You're going to break even. You can do whatever you want. The way I do it, and I like to do it, is, hey, listen, this thing's already broken out, right? I was sitting here around there. Now, next when I'm looking to open, boom, boom, I see price start to climb, and I see you're ripping through this wick high. I like to chase it, right? And chase my trail. I'm not chasing really anything else. I'm just trying to maximize the amount of money I squeeze out. If I see it taking off, blah, blah, and it hits the wick, and I'm right here, and I get taken out at 925 or an 8, whatever number right here, it doesn't matter. This is extra. I wasn't looking for this, right? My ultimate TP was right here. So this is the reason I went on a total sidetrack, but this is the reason that I don't set, right? I just throw my TP high, right? Some wacky, crazy number. I'm like, woo, it would be so nice if it hits that. Do I need that? No. I know what I'm looking for, right? As price breaks out, right? And this one just happened. It went to here and then it just freaking popped up, right? This happens. When it does, take full advantage. Why? Because if you do, you're going to keep those winners bigger. I'm not telling you to chase big numbers. I'm not telling you to chase price or do any of that. My point is, learn how to trail. Master your trading style, and also your trailing style, because that's what's going to get you to have bigger winners, right? Because if my I don't know, let's just say, I don't like this, but let's say you have a daily goal of $500, right? Right. Well, on a run like this, if you trailed and trailed and trailed, you almost have tomorrow's profits as well. Does that mean that you can be reckless? No, absolutely not. That doesn't mean tomorrow you're going to double your risk or whatnot. But what it does mean is that you're going to have extra buffer. So if you take your loss tomorrow, right? So if your daily goal is 500 and you have a daily loss of 250, that means that you technically can have a loss tomorrow. You don't want that. But if you do, you don't got to feel that bad about it because you already made up almost a whole day. So if anything, consider it extra buffer for your future trades, right? And that's how I like to do it. Now, in this case, I wasn't able to trail because these candles are wonky. So I'm going to go like that because I have no other way of doing this. And you get taken out, right? And that's perfectly fine. You kept 815 if that was your first trade for the day. If you want to continue after that, well, again, this could be 200. My point is, whatever your daily goal is, okay, I didn't want to do daily goals, but let's just do it like this. Let's stick to, for example, what is this called? To Top Step, right? Top Step has a 200 minimum a day for 5 days, whatever, and that's how you get paid out, right? So if that's the case, right? Let's say this was 215. Would you keep your 215 and just go to the next day? And if you do, that means great. You're a step closer to that payout. Right. So anywho, if you want to keep going after that first win, that win is ginormous no matter how you measure it, right? Let's just say we got in here with 2 MNQ, right? On the burst, you almost pulled out $178. So you might, if you need that 200 for what's it called? For the payout, you might want to continue, right? Now, let's see here. Let's just go based on that right here. I mean, we kind of already know what happens because we reviewed this on the 1 minute. I believe it closes below, right? Yeah. Oh, you see, and I missed the entry. Well, whatever. I'm not gonna. There's no way with this replay. It's not impossible. Whatever. It just sucks. All right, let's go. Boom. So on that drop, we're paying attention right to here. I don't have the levels marked. I had them marked earlier. Right. So you have a level here to pay attention to. You have some wicks here. You just took out all that liquidity there on that push. Right. We took that out. Okay. So our next drop is to here 465. All right. So we got to 465. Not quite. Almost, right? So let's just say here you were saying, you know what, I'm going to trail this move as well, right? Because, I don't know, you just didn't want it. You saw too much volume or you got scared or whatever. If you trailed this hard, you got anywhere from 100 and, well, ultimately 151, or about 148 to like 100 ticks. If you had 100, what was it over here, 189 or something? I can't remember. I mean, let's just say you got trailed to there. 154 plus 103, you're at that 250, right? So there, you met your daily payout, right? And you're done. So that's what I say. The numbers are the numbers. If you're using obviously a bigger contract size or a more number of contracts, you'll have numbers that look cool, right? But the goal here is to get payouts and not look cool. So practice, right? If you're still starting out and do what you will. If you want to pop your accounts, fine. My point is find your sizing, right, appropriate to your trading style, your risk style, and the account size, more importantly, and go from there, right? Because even something this simple, right, you got your money and you're out and you're done. Would you like to continue? I have no idea. Could you keep it at, in the say, so 154, you technically only need like 40 something dollars. Yeah, so could you keep your stop like here and say, you know what, if it comes back, I'll still be able to get a payout and qualify because that's $200. Does it continue? I don't know. Let's see. Whoa, yo mama. All right, so I gotta stop. I gotta find something else to say. That was a crazy pullback. You gotta take it out 69 ticks. Done deal. You still got your payout. At least you still got your day qualified, right? And then you just let it be, right? And if you really want to, and again, once the first two trades go by, I'm not interested. But you can definitely continue. Yeah, we saw it chopped around, right? That's exactly what happened. So, I mean, this is the 4 minute chart. I don't know how the up move worked on this one. I don't recall. All right, boom. So we got an entry at whatever close that candle has. Does this candle have a close? This replay thing is so bad. Yeah, look. So here you opened, went up like what, 2 ticks, and then poof, right? Do you want to? Yeah, I guess you could take it, right? I mean, but your stop loss is big on this one. If you do it, Oh, it's already 11. Yeah, no, I would not take that. 10:30 to 12:30, I'm out. But yeah, you're risking 131, so you're risking not basically getting to back into that territory of not getting the payout. As it is here, you're down 84 on the push of the wick. Okay, see, maybe it does take off. I don't remember what happens here. Let's see. Whoa, and that's gonna make you very unhappy. Now let's just say you did this for whatever reason. Okay, where do we get a confirmation here? Let's see. Oh, that's ugly. That's sad. It took us out and it kept going. See, and this is the thing. So, what am I gonna say? Technically, we didn't get stopped. I gotta go back and see why we did. Oh, because I trailed it. Okay, so you're not supposed to trail it. But if this happened and it took you at 132, you'd be sad at this point. If you stayed in it for whatever reason, you're up 15. Not for whatever reason, for the fact that you held your stop. In my style, right? This is a good example of my style and what I don't like and do like. Um, did it take it out? Yeah, it would have taken me out 100%. So see, I did that almost like subconsciously as my style is flip this candle. I see weakness, right? And what do I do immediately? And that doesn't work to my favor always. I guess stop there for 85 ticks and then price continues. So you could always leave it. Again, you will adapt to your style. And it takes off. All right. So, yeah, in this case, I personally can't do anything. But if you were in this trade, you had a max pusher of 63 additional ticks. Let's see if the price continues. Okay, well, so price flips here. So let's say in my case, if I had the 85 loss, I'd be like, oh no, why'd I take another trade? Blah, blah, blue. And I imagine there's going to be a heck of a ton of chop here because of because of the time of the day it is, right? So let me see something here. Oof, not nice at all, dude. Yeah, you see, this is why I don't trade that 10:30 to 12:30 window. Anywho, originally we ended up positive on the 4 minute trade, like 8:15 or something. Yeah, that's right here, 8:15. Right. So after that, do you keep going again? If it was $200, or if you took one and then two, and then you got your day, you got your 200 for the day. In Top Steps' case, if not, whatever platform you're on, you have to figure out when to stop. No one can tell you when to do that. Not us, not anybody. That is discretionary. And this is why it's so important to learn how to trade. Whether you're using our indicator, whether you're using any other number of things, any other indicator, structure, price action, you can do the naked chart and just do price action. So, anywho, I think you get the idea. This is how I trade it. This is how I look at things. If you have any questions, let me know, and I can run through. I mean, I might do. I was gonna keep going honestly and keep back testing. The issue is that this is already 22, 23 minutes in almost now, and it can get a little hectic, right? But I mean, you can just see right here. What this Tuesday, right? If you didn't take this one on the pre-market, which I believe I did, yeah. So anywho, pre-market, you had this move. You'll find through time. Sometimes the pre-market brings that move, and I'll myself or Javier say, a lot of people say like, oh, nothing happened during pre-market or something did. Either way, so they had one good one here, right? And if you missed that one, you had your first flip right here. Your stop loss goes down there, and then you had a very nice move, right? And same thing here, right? You're paying attention to what? The high. But what happened at the high? You freaking blasted through and closed above. So that's why I have that thing of, like let's measure, right? If you got in here, right, you had your stop and then you're up, right? So from here to here, under 66 ticks, right? My eyeballs are always paying attention to obviously that high, any other highs that are before it, but also London. For me, London high is very significant, right? This guy right here that lines up because that is the high, right? So I'm always eyeballing that, but again, I'll enter and I'll throw my take profit as high as it goes, as high as I can visually see, right? I usually trade in about here ish, like in this view, right? This zoom level. So if I do this, I'll throw my stop probably up to here, right? No, I just random throw it. And now I'm paying attention at this high, right? Technically, let's see here. We got another high right there, right. Here, I'll just draw the line. It's also cool to see when you draw these lines how price interacts, right? So what happened at this high? So we ripped through this high, closed above. Price came back to retest the high that it just broke and then continued. Where did it continue? To this high. And that's why I pay attention to London high so much. And why I use it for target so much. High area of liquidity. Yes, we had continuation, but look at this rejection right here. Clearly has some sellers present. There was not enough to hold or start that reversal, but it happened, right? You had that like that. So me, right? So 163. If I was doing that, I really don't like this is there, but we closed above it. Whatever, I'm looking, I'm paying attention, right? Where I would get out is more than likely at London high, right? As soon as I hit London high and I see a burst through, I start seeing pull back. I don't want that. So this is where you need to learn and visualize price action. So 2MNQ, you're up 346. You're way, healthy on your $200 for the day if that's what you need for Top Step. Or again, whatever your goal is, that's solid, right? And if your goals are larger, I mean, you will learn how to adjust, right? M&Q, thankfully for me listening to Javier on that, it is a lifesaver, right? Because it allows you to stack appropriately to your risk profile and to your goals, right? Yes, the move has to happen bigger, right? On 1NQ, this would be what, $1,500 and plus and change and more. So yeah, that's cool, right? But then your stop is, well, it's not horrible, I suppose, but it's 500 cents. So if you're trading a larger size, the only thing I would say, yeah, it'll work exactly the same. You just got to be careful for your account size, right? If you don't have a buffer built, let's say you're still doing an eval, you have to keep, be mindful that on a $600 stop, right? You have what? One, two, like about 3 trades. Yeah, depending on your drawdown, if it's 2,000 or 2,500, you have about 2 or 3 trades, right? 2 or 3 chances. Do you want to use them up, or why not just size down a little bit, right? If this move is, and again, this is not advice, this is just me talking about contracts. If this is about 1,500, right? It's 1,500 and change in with 1NQ. All right, then go to 5MNQ, right, which is half the size. And instead of getting 1,500, you're gonna get 750, right? Is that bad? How long does it take people to make that? So anywho, that's neither here nor there. I'm just saying, depending on your sizing and all that, and I'd like to get into a conversation about that eventually, because it is a big thing, man. We want these crazy numbers, and of course, who doesn't want an extra 1,500 or an extra 2,500, an extra 10? I mean, what is the limit in that conversation, right? Who wouldn't want an extra $1 million? Of course, everybody would. And your risk is going to be 650K. I mean, it's all proportionate to, this is why, it's all proportionate to your account size. So, not going to get into this risk management stuff anymore, but just do the numbers, right? So let's do 344 times 5, that's 344 ticks. Oh, so it's more, 1720, right? 344 ticks times 5, which is what 1NQ moves per tick. Awesome. Now let's do 2MNQ, which is $1 per tick. Well, I'm sorry, 5 MNQ times 0.5, 50 cents per. That's 250 times 344, 860. That's beautiful, right? And as you size up or down, obviously your things change. Anywho, I hope this helped. Now I've gotten into almost the 30-minute mark, right? Getting to 29 here. If you have any questions, let me know. I just wanted to show a little bit how the trading works, how at least I manage it. Javier will make his own videos as well. And we'll go from there. Any questions, let us know. Enjoy. Trade safe.